Hello. Welcome back, everyone, to Drinking During Business Hours. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'm Sarah Halstead, comedian, actor, wino.
And I am Rich Chassler, also actor, comedian, and wino.
Wine enthusiast,
Wine
alcoholics,
enthusiast,
whatever you want to call us.
You know,
we get very enthusiastic over wine.
Over good wine.
And we're drinking a good one today.
We have three wines here today because we weren't sure what we wanted to drink with our guest, who, when we asked him what he likes to drink, gave us a very specific answer of everything.
It's our favorite answer.
Which is the best answer you could ask for. So we brought a few different options. But right now we are drinking a wine by an Italian winery called Feudi
di San Gregorio.
And this
in Campania.
In Campania. And this is the Catuzzi, which is 100% Greco.
So fun in the summer. This is one of my very favorite summer whites.
I like to drink Catuzzi when I'm in the jacuzzi.
Yes, we do that. We
drink it in the jacuzzi.
Jacuzzi at our gym. We have so what we do is we work out and then we sneak the wine
in a 750 holder thing.
Catuzzi.
And we sneak wine everywhere.
It's the best.
We really do.
I love this wine, not just in the summer, but there's just something about going to the beach and having Greco.
Right.
I also really like the bottle. I think it's really decorative.
It's very cool
beautiful. And just a nice, and it's also pretty cheap too.
Can you believe we're in August?
No.
Can you believe it? We're talking about summer one. So how did we get to August already?
Well, I think it's just important that we celebrate. I love this season. Summer is my favorite. Now, we did recently have one of the best dining experiences in LA.
I want to get to that in just a second. Hold on to that for 1 second. Because we're in August, I just want to make one shout out to, for me, this August, one of the most exciting things that's happening this month, and that is the launch of our new stand-up comedy show in Los Angeles.
Oh, yes. We have a new show, a new room. At the Starlight Cabaret in Studio City.
Right.
It's called The Test Kitchen.
Kitchen comedy.
It's going to be professional comedians, like road comedians.
Real working guys, the Bill Burrs of the world.
Yeah, we're going to have big names working it out, and hence Test Kitchen.
Right.
And like a chef, like an executive chef in the kitchen, seeing what works.
So it's all pros doing only new material that we're working out for TV spots, the road, the Hulu specials, whatever it is. You're always going to be guaranteed to see professional comedians working on new material.
And it may not always be great, but we promise it will be interesting.
It'll always be fun, that's for sure.
Every Tuesday at 7:30 at the Starlight.
Now, speaking of fun.
Yeah.
This guest that we have today.
This one.
This guy.
We got the big one.
First of all, he's a laugh riot.
I don't know how you did it. Thank you, honey, because you're really the one who
got it?
After a lot of, I know that we had been asking for quite some time. We're starstruck.
We are starstruck. I fanboy, Drinking During Business Hours is a wine-centric show, but we don't only drink wine. But one of the beautiful things about wine is how well it goes with food. So not only do I fanboy over winemakers, I fanboy over chefs.
Yes,
Make no mistake about it. And this guest today is monumental.
One of the best.
His accolades are seriously, Michelin-recognized, written up in every single solitary magazine, the awards that it's just crazy.
Our first executive chef.
And he's our first executive chef on the new implementation of the show.
Yes.
And I have been loving his food since he owned another restaurant on Pico called Soho.
Yes.
The closing of that restaurant literally sent me into a depression.
Yeah, I remember. You couldn't get out of bed.
He and his wife, Dina, are partners, and they have another restaurant, which was already open when Soho was open. And this one's downtown Los Angeles, and we had dinner there on Saturday night.
It was incredible.
It's incredible.
On all fronts.
On
incredible.
all fronts.
It checks all the boxes.
Right. So Rosso Blu is the restaurant.
Mhm,
If some
mhm.
of you might have been there already, if you haven't and you're going to come to LA or you live here, you got to get down to Rosso Blu. The food is prepared by none other than our guest today, the incredible
Steve
Samson, ladies and gentlemen, is here for us.
Cheers.
He's drinking wine.
Cheers.
He's already got smiles on.
Always.
And he's one of the goofiest people I've ever known. I have to
So
be
fun.
honest.
Oh, thank you for being on the show, Steve.
Really,
You're welcome.
you know,
it's great to be here.
I'm glad that we have become friends. I have to
too.
start out by saying,
Yeah.
because the way it happened was so weird. You know, I was always a fan.
Uh-huh.
We met at Rosso Blu,
Yeah.
but that never stuck. It was just like you were out and someone had told you these guys always have wine, and you came to the table one
Yeah.
night and said hello to me and my friends
Uh-huh.
from Wally's, where
Yeah,
we would
yeah,
bring the
yeah,
wines.
yeah.
And then I friended you on Facebook.
Uh-huh.
And that was the extent of it.
That's the modern relationship.
I friended you on
That's how it works
Facebook.
now.
trajectory, right?
That's it. You
But-
meet, then you friend each other.
Yeah.
But we were at the
Follow, yeah.
Ojai Valley Food and Wine
Right,
Festival a few
right,
years ago,
yeah.
and I walked up to your table. Like, I wanted to have some of your food.
Yeah.
And you, out of nowhere, just goes, "Oh, hey, you're Rich Chassler, the comedian, right? We're friends on Facebook."
Yeah.
And I was like, zoinks!
I was so excited. I remember this moment too.
Because I ran back to her and I'm like,
Yeah.
whenever we're at one of these things where chef, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like what's it called?
Alex's
Alex's
lemonade.
Lemonade,
yeah.
right?
Yes.
So Michael Mina is there.
Right.
And I walk up to Michael Mina's and I get in the thing and he goes, "You're the comedian." Like,
That's
how
right.
do you even remember this? And it was
Yeah.
just, to me, it would be like Jerry Garcia going, "Oh, hey, Rich."
Well, you're a memorable guy, so.
I
Yeah.
think so.
Well,
Of
I am
course.
really, really happy to have you finally
Great
on the
to be
show.
here, yeah.
Seriously.
Yeah.
Your food is
Oh,
insane.
thank you. Thank you.
Insane.
Yeah. I try to keep it pretty personal. And there's my phone. I could have sworn I turned it
Time
off.
to
I
take
mean,
your
you
pill.
try to keep the food
Sorry.
personal. You walked up to our table
Very busy
with
guy.
pictures of your Italian
Right.
aunt
My mom.
and your mom
And your
Yeah.
aunt.
and the food. And you're
And-
like,
Yeah.
so this is the food, and this is the picture of them preparing the food in Italy. I'm like,
never
that's pretty
seen-
personal.
I have never seen that done before. That was my first experience where the chef presented us with the photo,
Yeah.
an antique photo of where the recipe was derived, where
Yeah,
it had been
yeah.
derived.
That was
Uh-huh.
insane.
It was so special.
Yeah.
How did that come about? Did you
Um,
think of that?
No, it's just, I mean, well, the food, I grew up, my mom was from Bologna, outside Bologna.
Mm.
So we used to go every summer as kids, and we would spend summers in Bologna with my grandparents.
Oh,
So,
cool.
so you know, in Italy, everything's about food and
Right.
drink, and that's your whole life is basically around the dinner table.
While you're
or the
eating
lunch,
breakfast,
yeah.
you're talking about what you're going to have for lunch.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
So yeah, it just was always a part of my life. And then when I became a chef, obviously, you know, at first I just wanted to get my chops and learn how to be a good line cook. But then eventually, you know, you kind of need to develop a point of view. So I always knew I was going to do Italian food. Soto was more Southern Italian. We started it as a chef partnership with Zach Pollock, and I started it. So we decided to do Southern Italian. And then after that, I was like, you know what? I kind of just like had an epiphany. Like, I just want to cook the food I grew up eating. Like my mom would make, my
Right.
nonna would make. And that's pretty much like traditional Bolognese food.
Right.
Really
Yeah.
nice.
So that's basically how I decided to open Rosso Blu. And Rosso Blu is actually the nickname for the soccer team from Bologna.
Oh, is that
Yeah,
true? Is that
yeah.
where it comes from?
Yeah, they're red and
Bolognese.
blue are their colors, and they're called
I
Rosso
love
Blu.
that.
Okay,
Yeah.
there you go.
Yeah.
All right, now we know that.
I
That
mean,
makes sense.
I admit it, and I'm going to own this. When Soto was open and Rosso Blu was open, there was the wine steward at Soto, Christine,
Yeah.
who you know,
Uh-huh.
Mhm.
right?
Very nice.
Then
Person,
moved
yeah.
to Rosso Blu.
Yeah.
And she had my phone number because
Mm.
she was my contact at Soto. I would call Christine when we
Oh.
were coming in.
Yeah.
And she would always get us a good table.
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
you know, she knew we were bringing a lot of wine
Uh-huh.
and she always took good care of us. And she would call me sometimes and say, like, when are you coming downtown?
Nice.
I'm going to get down there. I'm coming. And I hate it's literally a crime that it took me as long as it did to get down.
Well, it's hard to get downtown sometimes.
Oh, it's terribly difficult.
It feels like
It's
a different,
8
like a
miles.
big, like getting in the helicopter to go, you know.
But it's literally, it's like
was
when you
nothing.
live
We had to do that more
when you live in
often.
New York City and someone says, "Hey, why don't you come out to Brooklyn?" You're like, "Yeah, no,
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
you
don't
come to
stop there.
Manhattan."
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so
Yeah.
it's just a little bit of my laziness and traveling all the time doing stand up and whatnot. But now I want to come down once a month.
And it was
Okay,
no
yeah.
problem.
Like,
We got there in 15
nothing.
minutes.
Good. Yeah.
It was the easiest
Really,
thing
there
in
was
the
no
world.
traffic. Well, also because we had 8 p.m.
Right, reservations,
right? So
which was a great
no
time
traffic.
to go.
Yeah, it was so easy.
Right.
And I was once I walked in and saw the wood burning oven with the flame, the open
Yeah.
flame.
Oh
and
yeah,
that-
that was.
It just was cozy and it just smelled like heaven.
Oh.
I
And
mean,
You know what really impressed me? That you didn't have wood-fired pizza. I was glad
Yeah.
to see that. How many Italian places do I need to walk into and say wood-fired pizza?
Well, strangely, in Italy, you either go to a restaurant or you go to a pizzeria.
Right.
And anytime there are some that are both, but it's almost like those are never the ones you want to go
Right.
to.
There's 3 levels of restaurant
Right.
in Italy.
Yeah.
Right.
There's
There's the trattoria.
Yeah.
Then there's the
Osteria.
the osteria, which
Yeah.
is, and then there's the cafe.
Yeah.
But the osteria is like
Yeah.
that's the top.
Yeah.
which is the gelato?
Yeah.
That's
So,
the one I like.
When you were going to Italy as a kid and you're watching your grandma cook and your mom,
Yeah.
is that what fired you up
Yeah.
to have an interest in wanting to cook?
Yeah, but I actually didn't really follow. I always had a passion for it, but I didn't follow it right away.
Right.
When I finished college, I was kind of just floating around and
Like
didn't know what I
everybody.
wanted to do. That's
Sure.
really like a
So
tough
much
time in life.
pressure.
Like everybody.
Oh,
I feel
hate
bad
that
for the kids
time.
because you're never really, you're supposed to go to college to become an adult, but you don't become an adult in college. You just it's like
No,
Oh,
you're
you
still
become
such
more
a
of a
baby.
child.
yeah, right, exactly.
You know,
Right.
it's like I could study or play beer pong.
Exactly. Exactly. So I didn't know what I wanted to do for a while. And then I actually moved to New York. I grew up here in LA.
But you're from New York
I was
originally.
born in Brooklyn. Yeah. My dad's from Brooklyn.
Right.
So I thought that maybe my dad's also a doctor and so is my brother.
Right.
So I thought, oh, maybe I want to be a doctor. So I moved to New York to do all my science prerequisites because I hadn't done any of them in college. I was like, I avoided those kind of classes.
Oh no.
I was a history major in literature.
Okay.
Right. That's me.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's
Gotcha.
me.
Yeah. So I went to New York and I took taking all the classes. I took the MCAT. I had a big stack of med school applications.
Oh my
Can you imagine?
Goodness.
And I wasn't like dying to fill them out. I was just kind of, and then one of my buddies who, he's like, I cooked dinner for him and his girlfriend. And he's like, you should go to cooking school. You don't want to go to medical school. You should go to cooking school. And he took out the New York City phone book. That shows you how long ago this was.
Shit.
He opened it to cooking schools. He's like, you either call him or I'm going to call for you. And I'm like, okay, I'll call him.
That's a good
Yeah,
friend, by
and
the way.
he was the first investor at Rosso Blu.
That's a good
Oh,
friend.
I love
We're still
that.
friends.
I love that you're
Oh,
still
cool.
friends.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
see, that's the best.
Yeah,
Someone
You know?
who really knows you that well.
I know,
Yeah.
right?
And kind of had to steer you.
But
Mhm.
it's
To be
funny
you.
because
Right,
Yeah.
there's a saying, nobody invests in your business.
right.
They're investing in you.
Well, that's
doesn't
probably true.
matter what the business
Right.
is. It's you they're investing in.
Right, right.
And to have a friend who knows you,
Yeah.
And is still willing to give you money.
Exactly.
That's a friend.
Yeah. No, it's good. It's good to have people like that
Right.
in life. It's funny.
So you went to like Culinary Institute of America?
Now it's called a horrible name. It's called ICE. Institute of
gosh.
Culinary Education. They should change
They got to
that.
change
I
that
know,
right
right?
away. Right away.
Yeah, it's called
Not
the
good for
Institute of
business.
Culinary Education.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
And they but back then it wasn't called that. It was called Peter Kump's Cooking School. So Peter Kump was a contemporary of James Beard.
Oh,
and-
wow.
Yeah.
So he was a big. But he had started his cooking school, and but then they sold it and changed it to Institute of Culinary Education.
Wow.
And they're in LA now too. They took over the one there in Pasadena.
We don't need
That
ice
was
in
a-
LA.
We don't need.
We don't
definitely
need
do
ice
not.
in
No
LA.
ice. No ice.
So did your first after you got out of cooking school, then you started looking for jobs.
Yeah.
Did you cook in New York?
I did.
Where?
Well, my first job was I was in cooking school with a woman who owned a restaurant with her husband off the coast of Maine on a little tiny island in northern Maine. It was amazing.
Wow.
It's called Little Cranberry Island.
How cool.
And this restaurant was on a dock. And the next dock over was the lobster dock where all the fishermen would take their traps and bring the catch in.
Oh my God.
So the lobster there was incredible.
Right.
And I still I want to bring my kids back to the island. I love it there. And I'm still friends with all the people from the island.
Right.
But that was my first job. Then I got back to New York, and then it was kind of hard to find that. The first job's the hardest one to get.
Right.
Because, they got to put time into you and train you. And even though I'd already worked, they don't care.
Right.
If you don't,
you haven't worked in our kitchen.
right, if you haven't worked in New York, you haven't worked anywhere.
I was going
Right.
to say it's the New York thing.
But that is
Yes.
really,
Right.
Very competitive.
Yeah.
I would
Yeah.
imagine.
Yeah, but it was also a lot of fun. So I worked at a place called Zoe. It was on where was that? It was on in Soho, on right across from what the Mercer Hotel wasn't there yet.
Right.
But it's basically across from where the Mercer Hotel is.
So this is like early 90s.
This was late 90s.
Late 90s.
I'm pretty sure that I frequented Zoe a few times.
I'm sure
so
you
we
did. It
lived
was a
in
good
New York City
restaurant.
at the
Yeah.
same time.
Yeah.
I lived in that area.
Yeah.
And that was a great
was fun.
that was a great
In
little
2001, I had a job
Yeah.
in Soho on Spring
Oh, wow.
at a restaurant right next door to Boom.
Boom.
I don't know if you remember
Bang
Boom,
and Boom.
but it was a bar on Spring and
Italian owned.
I want to
Okay.
say it's like Spring and Green, maybe.
Okay.
Yeah, and it was
Yeah,
this.
I'm sure if it was there. I left New York in '99, so I was
Oh,
there
okay.
from '93 to '99.
Right.
Yeah.
And then
We
you came
were there
here.
at the same time.
Vegas first.
Okay.
Yeah, I got in touch with Piero Selvaggio from Valentino.
Right.
Okay.
And my mom, was friends with all the Italian. My parents were friends with all the LA Italian crew, so they knew Piero. And,
Valentino was my family's place here
Oh,
in LA.
yeah, I'm sure.
My brother's bar mitzvah dinner
really
was at Valentino. My dad knew the owner. His
Piero's the
mob,
owner.
his
Yeah.
mob friend
Yeah.
from Miami
Uh-huh.
knew Piero. So whenever we came here, he was like, "Yo, we're going to Valentino,"
It was there forever,
Yeah, forever.
1972. It
That
opened.
restaurant, and I loved how
Yeah.
you pulled in under the thing
Yeah,
in the
yeah,
front
yeah.
door. Then they took your car to the
Yeah,
parking lot.
yeah.
It was very, very cool.
Yeah, so I reached out to Piero, and because I wanted to go work in Italy. And
Right.
he knows everyone. He's like huge in Italy. So he sent me up with a couple stages there, and he's like, when you come back, you can work. I'm opening a restaurant in Las Vegas. You can work out there.
Wow.
Yeah. So I helped open the restaurant out there in Vegas, which was at the
Wow.
Venetian.
Right.
Yeah.
Now,
So-
did you have kids at this point?
No.
Okay, this is super early
No,
in your
I was,
career.
I was a
So-
super bachelor,
All right,
not
so
just a
it's
bachelor.
good to be
like
a super bachelor in super Vegas,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Good. That worked out well.
Cooking at a super new
Yeah,
restaurant.
yeah.
Yo, that's
God,
juice.
you must have had a blast.
Yeah,
That's
it was fun.
juice.
It was fun. Good times. Yeah. It was
I
a long time
love
ago.
that.
And so it's not necessarily like you were building your bones. These are all really good places.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I mean
Just
it's
kind
hard.
of-
It's hard when you're starting off. You really need to focus on never just building that muscle and learning how to cook professionally. It's hard. It was really hard. But once you get to the point where you're like, no matter how in the weeds you are, you can look down. You can just say, "Hey, man, I'm better than anyone else at this restaurant at
Right.
this spot right here."
Now,
So
did you
You're
start
standing,
at prep and then go to the line? and
I
then-
started Garde Manger, which is hard.
Right.
That's probably prep wise the hardest station because you got to prep all the salads and
Is that what that means?
yeah,
Garde
Garde Manger
Manger.
or pantry is they
Yeah,
call it
okay.
either Garde Manger
Okay.
or pantry. Yeah,
Garde
it's
Manger.
basically cold apps.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
Cool.
so it's a lot of prep,
Right.
and it took me a while to get up to speed. I
And you
was
have to get
slow.
to the restaurant like 2 PM or whenever.
No, I got there. We were on a day rate. I was on a day rate. I don't remember how much I got paid, but
Right.
it wasn't a lot.
Mm.
And I know it's illegal now, but I'm pretty sure it was probably illegal then to pay a day rate.
Right.
So I would if I had a lot of prep to do, I'd show up as early as I could.
Oh,
like 10 in the
wow,
morning. Yeah. I remember it was right across from Dina and DeLuca. And like whenever
Oh, boy.
Dina and DeLuca would be packed, I'd be like, oh man, it's going to be rough tonight.
You just knew, yeah, that it was booming.
Yeah.
That's hilarious. Wow.
Yeah, but it was fun. It was fun cooking in New York, it was a really great experience.
Oh my goodness. I mean,
Yeah.
you're pretty much prepped for anything after New York, I would
Yeah,
imagine.
well, definitely,
Yeah.
you know, and the
Yeah.
restaurants stay open later in New
Yeah,
York,
yeah.
and you know, your nights, you know, you don't start drinking
Ugh.
till about 2 in the morning.
Yeah.
And,
I'd
no,
have we'd start there. So on Saturday nights, it was open till 11:30. So 5:30, you'd start hearing that ticket.
Right.
You'd hear it for 6 hours straight. Like,
Like the bear.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
just printing out.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
chef.
Have
Yes,
night-
chef.
have
Yes,
Yeah.
chef.
nightmares about that.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of chefs say that, you know, and that term, the weeds,
oh, yeah.
you know, that's very much a restaurant term.
I
Right,
first heard
right.
that term when I was a waiter at the Old World restaurant in Marina Del Rey. And one of the women who was like, she was an actress also, but she had waited at a lot of restaurants. I did not. I bartended, but I did not wait at a lot of restaurants. And she went, "Oh my God, I'm totally in the weeds." I go, "What does that mean? Are you high? Like, were
Yeah,
you
right.
smoking?
Yeah.
Like, take me outside with you." She goes, "No, I'm in the weeds." I'm like, "Okay."
Yeah.
It is the worst feeling
I know.
in the
It is.
world
It's-
to be in
yeah.
the weeds.
It
Feels
is.
like it's never going to end.
It's,
But
you
it
just
always
got-
ends. That's what I
You
tell
just
people.
Always
got to keep your head
ends.
down.
You gotta
Yes.
keep
You
your
just
head
got to
down.
keep your head down.
Try
That's
to
all.
stay focused and get through it. And the irony is, and I mean, more of like, you know, a coincidence rather than irony, but in life, you're in the weeds
All
through
the
different
time.
situations.
I know.
All the
You know, no
time.
matter what job you have, no
Right,
matter
yeah.
what the, you know, as
Yeah.
a comedian, I get in the
I'm
weeds.
sure.
Oh,
Yeah.
I mean, it's sometimes I get in the weeds right when I'm on stage.
yeah.
And if something happens where I don't have control over the room, I mean, it can happen
You
in
want
any
these- yeah.
vocation.
I'll have actually a little more of the white
Oh,
too.
I love it. I
Yeah,
love
let's.
it. Isn't
I
it
mean, if
so
we're gonna
nice,
drink
though?
during,
Hey, we don't not only can drink during business hours, but after the show we do the pour off.
okay,
And
okay.
I remember after working in shift at various places in New York City, but we would go to the Blue Ribbon.
Yeah,
and-
that was the
and-
spot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then all the
Yeah.
chefs were there.
Yeah,
and
that
we were
was
like,
the spot.
if this is good enough for chefs,
Yeah,
it's good enough for
That
us.
was like Lafayette and
it was in
Jones, Grace
I think it's
Jones, or-
probably still
but
there,
it was
right?
NoHo, Nolita area,
Yeah.
Blue
Oh,
Ribbon.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it was. That place was
That
always
place
packed
was-
at like until 2 in the morning.
Yeah.
But one night our chef was like, "Hey, what are you doing tonight after work?" I'm like, "I don't know." All right, we're all going. He took us all to Blue Ribbon. Yeah,
Oh, it was
we got
so
the
good.
seafood tower.
Oh, right.
Yes. That was
Yeah.
a big deal.
I moved back to New York in 2001, and a friend of mine was running a restaurant in Tribeca
Mhm.
on Desproces Street called Fili Ponte.
Mm.
And it,
Like Fratelli.
like
Fratelli
but,
Ponte.
like Fratelli Ponte, the brothers Ponte.
Yeah, I remember that place.
You do?
I mean, I don't know if I was there, if it was open while I was there, but I
Right.
remember seeing.
Oh, it was definitely open when you were there. They were
Okay,
open for
yeah.
a long time, and
Yeah.
it was super duper. They catered to a lot
like
of
Rayo's, kind of.
like Rayo's, kind of, yes.
Oh.
With the exception of Joe Torre.
Ah.
Joe Torre was best friends with one of the Ponte brothers, so the Yankees
Uh-huh.
would have all their World Series
Oh, that's
victory
cool.
celebrations at
yeah.
Ponte's, and there was always
Yeah.
celebs and
I,
whatever. and-
I saw Joe DiMaggio sitting at a restaurant in like in that area. once.
right? That's
Just-
cool.
Yeah, with his driver, whoever it was.
That's
He was really old. It was right
very
before he passed
cool.
away.
Oh, that is so
Yeah.
cool.
That is very cool.
I didn't bother him though. Plus, I'm a Dodger fan, so it's like the Yankees.
Well,
I
you
remember-
know what? You're allowed to be a Dodgers
Right.
fan.
Yeah.
You're from Brooklyn.
Right.
Now, a lot of people from Brooklyn, it's one or the other. You either hate the Dodgers and they're traitors for leaving, or you hold on to
Right.
your love of the Dodgers and you're still a Dodger fan. So I can appreciate both.
Yeah.
You know, those New Yorkers who were like, they left in 1955. They screwed us. I was a kid and the Dodgers
Yeah.
left and it was the worst. And it was a horrible
Yeah,
thing.
that was
to
my
happen.
dad. My dad grew up right by Ebbets Field.
And hated the
Oh
Dodgers
my.
after they
I
left.
think I don't know if he definitely was a Dodger fan.
Right.
It wasn't like huge, like it wasn't his biggest thing. But so when we moved out, I remember my first Dodger game at Dodger Stadium. I was probably like 7 or 8 years old. And my dad took me. Yeah. It was pretty
Dodger
neat.
Stadium used to be great.
Yeah.
They used to do this thing where you could buy a bleacher ticket,
Mm-hmm.
and the bleacher ticket was $8, and it came with a hot dog and a Coke.
Wow.
Yeah, it
The
was
good
so
old
inexpensive
days.
back then.
It was
Right?
so, you
Yeah,
know,
now it's so crazy.
Baseball
Everything
was
is crazy.
great, and it was
Yeah.
America's pastime, and
yeah.
it was
Movies.
for every man.
Everything's pricey.
That's
Yeah.
because the athletes want too much money,
Or the owners.
or the owners
Right,
want more
yeah,
money.
I think it's more
Exactly.
that, the
Everybody.
latter. I know.
Exactly.
So when did you make that transition from, working in all these really high profile places in New York and
Yeah.
wanting to move here to LA, move back
Yeah.
home essentially?
It was kind of I was in between jobs because I worked at Zoe. I worked there for a year and a half, and I worked every station, and I got to the point where it's like I need to go somewhere else.
Right.
So it probably would have been pretty easy for me to find a new job, and they actually had like a pipeline of cooks to Gramercy Tavern, which
Oh.
I used to play.
love the
Yeah.
Gramercy Tavern.
Yeah, I used to play basketball with Tom Colicchio.
You really?
Yeah,
I like him.
yeah, he's a nice guy.
He's a nice guy.
Yeah, great chef. Like
Yeah.
a really
Great
great
chef.
chef. And
All those guys, all of them, every one of those chefs from Chopped,
yeah,
every one of them, Alex Garnishelli,
uh-huh.
Tom Colicchio, what's his name? The Latin guy it starts with an A. He owns the place up in Harlem.
Not Marcus Samuelson.
Marcus owns
Right,
Redbird, I
right.
think it's
He's
called.
a super nice guy.
He's super nice guy, And again, I follow chefs.
Yeah.
Like I really
Stalk them.
she's no, I mean, but like we've met
No,
Nancy
this is-
Silverton
Oh,
several
yeah,
times,
of
and then we
course.
were invited to
Oh, he
her
just loves
house for the Alex Lemonade party. You know what I mean?
Yeah, she's
And
great.
like, she's great.
Oh,
She's
yeah, she's the
amazing.
best.
And you know what's amazing? Unlike our industry, where you talk to a comic and you mention another comic's name and they generally only have shitty things to say, chefs don't shit talk each other,
Yeah, I mean,
I don't
there's
hear-
no point in it for one thing.
right?
But yeah, I mean, it's look, people are going to come to your restaurant. Somebody else's success or failure has nothing to do with my success. or
Exactly.
failure.
Same thing as an actor. If
Right.
someone books a movie, I'm not even right for the role. Why would I be mad at somebody? You know what I
right,
mean?
right,
Like, good
right.
for them.
Right.
Good for anyone I know who can get work in this industry.
know.
You know what I mean?
I know.
That's-
Same with mine. It's like anyone who can figure out a way to make a living out of this,
Right.
like God bless them.
Oh, I know.
I mean,
It's
you
not
run,
easy.
you run it at
Everything is
15 to
hard.
20%
That's the worst.
if you can get there.
yeah. I
A
should've-
restaurant only makes about 20 cents on every
Oh,
dollar.
if you're super successful,
Right.
that's like 20%
is-
profit is great. Like,
Right.
that's like top notch.
Especially year after year,
Yeah,
right? I
yeah,
mean,
yeah.
that's the key.
I once
yeah.
asked Susan Sager about this.
Uh-huh.
She's a chef that used to own the Border Grill on Melrose, and she started what was it called on La Brea? There was a restaurant that her and her partner also.
Susan Feniger?
Susan
Susan
Feniger, I
Feniger,
mean,
yeah. You're bringing up all the nicest people in the business.
These are the people I've had be
Susan
lucky enough to cross
and
paths
Mary
with.
Sue, they're
and
the
Mary
best.
Sue, right? They're
Yeah, they're
together,
awesome.
but they're
Amazing.
amazing. And so one night, my ex-girlfriend was a chef, and she worked at. I'm trying to remember what it was.
I remember she had
It's
that
where Republique is now.
Campanile?
Campanile.
No, Campanile was Nancy's restaurant. Nancy
No.
Silverton.
Oh yeah, Nancy Silverton
Yeah.
on Campanile
Yeah.
with Manfred Krenkel, I think,
He was the wine guy there.
and owned La Brea Bakery next door.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's the
That
guy
was
who
Nancy.
makes Sine Qua
Sine
Non.
Non, yeah.
That's
Yeah,
his
he was a
wine.
restaurant guy, and
Yeah.
he decided to make wine. So
But I used to go to Border Grill a lot.
Yeah.
And Susan Feniger would be there, and she would
Yeah.
always come out. And I ran into her one day at Ralph's.
yeah,
And I was just like, I just want you to know I'm a big fan of the Border Grill. I love
Yeah.
the Border Grill. It's always busy. You must be killing it. Now I'm in my 20s.
right.
You know, I'm not appropriate yet. And
Right.
she goes, oh, sweetheart, restaurants don't make a lot of money.
No.
It looks like we'd be rich, but oh, no,
Yeah.
not even close.
But there is people get the impression that I mean, I guess it depends on this on the phase of your career as well, because
Yeah.
you do go through different
Yeah.
stages / phases, you know,
Right.
where you of success. For the first 5 years, it's pretty tough, isn't it? or would
I mean,
it be
it
the
just
first 3
depends
years?
if which route you want to take. I mean,
Right.
I mean, owning and operating a restaurant is hard, like
Mhm.
really hard.
Yes.
Especially if you don't have like big backers and people to make sure you always have your working capital in line. And so that's basically what we did at Rosso Blu, and it's been a struggle. We're still alive.
But how long have you been there now? For
9 years.
Yeah. That's
That's
making it.
amazing.
Yeah.
My family owned a restaurant in Marathon Key,
Oh
and
wow.
my uncle, he would my aunt was front of the house, he was back of the house,
Mhm.
and at the time I wanted to get into the restaurant industry. I was really young. I was 19,
yeah.
and so they let me kind of wait tables or bus or
Uh-huh.
expedite or whatever. And at the end of the shift, my uncle would just be drenched in sweat, and
Yeah.
and he was just exhausted. He'd say, "Don't do it."
Uh,
Don't do it.
yeah.
But they ended up doing very, very well
Oh, good.
toward the end.
Yeah.
But
Well,
it took a while.
Yeah. I mean, the hardest part now, again, without getting too sound like I'm like whining or anything.
No,
but
you're not. We're
the hardest part
conversing.
is just all the costs that are involved with it.
Right.
And the fact that all the costs after the pandemic just like doubled. And and then labor is crazy, and California doesn't have a tip credit. So
Really? You guys don't
No.
get a tip credit?
nope.
Oh.
So California, you have to pay all your servers minimum wage,
Right.
which in Los Angeles now is almost $20 an hour.
Oh goodness.
So it doesn't matter how much money they make in tips, you have to pay them $20 an hour.
I ain't tipping waiters no
So
more.
What would be a tip credit?
Tip
Just
credit means, so
explain.
like in a lot of other states, even in New York,
New
I think,
York.
yeah, it's the restaurant has to pay something really small, like $2 an hour to servers if they're making tips. And
Yeah.
obviously those tips have to surpass the state's minimum wage.
Right.
And if it doesn't, then you have to pay a minimum wage. But I mean, anybody who's served in restaurants in New York, it's like,
Please.
they probably don't even need that
No.
$20
When you were
an hour,
working
right?
in New York as a
Absolutely not.
waitress at Lazoo, they were giving you $2.50 an hour on your paycheck.
Exactly.
That's what I got
And I
at
was
Nell's
fine
when
with
I was
that.
bartending.
Right.
But I was fine with that because
Because you
you
were
were
making
making tips.
$400
I
a
did.
night.
I did
Right,
really, really
right.
well.
Of course.
So it really puts an added strain on
Yeah.
On the
restaurants.
restaurant owner.
Well,
have to pay.
why are they hard on California? What is it? Why do we have to?
Who knows? It's
It
I
doesn't
don't
seem fair
it's
at all.
maybe like it's a state thing. So we brought it up with Dina, my wife, is part of a
She's amazing, by the way.
Yeah,
Shout
Dina-
out to Dina.
Big shout out to your wife, by the way.
Yeah.
And I get how important she is to the operation.
Right.
Oh,
Like,
she's
she's the glue.
She
Yeah,
is.
yeah.
Every,
She
when you
really
walk
is
in
the
and
glue,
there
you
she
know?
is at
Yeah.
the
She's your business. She's your front of
Yeah,
house.
she
She's your
sat us.
marketing.
Yeah, yeah,
she's
incredible.
no offense. She's a fucking beast.
Yeah, she
She
beautiful.
really is a monster.
Yeah, she's great.
awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she's also, she's kind of become like an industry expert on a lot of these wage things and HR issues. And then during COVID, it was like the Wild West.
Right.
Nobody knew what was going on. Nobody knew with the loans, the PPP, and she became like an expert, and people were calling and were like, here's what I know now, and blah, blah, blah. So she works for the restaurant. Gosh, I forget the group. But anyway, talking about tip credit, and they're
Right.
like, it's a non-issue because it's Sacramento, and they're never going to change it.
Right.
It's just never gonna
They're
change.
trying to repeal it in New York, actually.
Oh, I would love
I'm
for this to
so
get
surprised it
repealed.
hasn't been repealed,
Right.
to be honest.
Yeah.
A little more of that.
You want a little
Katootsie.
more of the Katootsie?
Yes.
Katootsie
Save
and
a
the
little for the
jacuzzi.
jacuzzi. So stupid.
That's incredible. So
So yeah, oh yeah, sure, I'll kill it. Why not?
So
I'm glad to have you here killing the wine. Are you joking me?
So post COVID, it's really changed.
Yeah,
You were
COVID,
probably
it's been-
cranking, and then
yeah.
that happened.
Yeah, it was really busy right before COVID. I remember it was like, wow, it's so busy. But I mean, I'm sure you guys have noticed when you go out to eat now, it's
It's a
like,
lot more
it's
expensive.
a lot
A
more expensive.
lot. I mean,
That's-
here's the thing, though. It's not even just the nicer restaurants
Right.
that are a lot more
No.
expensive. A tuna sandwich
Yeah.
at Denny's is $17. How
At a
is that even
diner,
possible?
Norms.
We
is-
went into a tiny, and then I mean, this is a diner I've been going to for 30 years,
Yeah.
and it is tucked away on a little mountain road on the way up to Big Bear
Okay.
in a small town called Running Springs.
I know Running Springs.
Okay.
We used to have a place up in Lake Arrowhead.
Oh, okay.
So
used to go there all the
you know
time.
when you're driving through Running Springs, there's
Yeah,
that
yeah,
it's just you get off and it's just that
Yeah.
one little thing,
Uh-huh.
and there's the diner.
Yeah.
$15 for a grilled cheese sandwich.
Yeah, it's crazy. And they're not trying to dupe
That's
you. It's
why-
just you almost can't charge as much as you would really need to make it profitable.
Right.
Because it's just like make people's heads will explode. They
That would be
don't-
$24 for a grilled cheese sandwich.
Probably.
Well,
Especially up there, it's probably hard for them to get ingredients up
Right.
there.
but see,
Everything's got to come up the
I-
mountain.
and I
Yeah.
think it's really good that we to hear your point of view, for people to understand that it's not greed from
No,
the
it's not at
entrepreneurs,
all.
from the proprietors.
Right.
That this is you're just trying to offset
Right.
these costs that have gone up exponentially.
Yeah.
And
Everything.
it seems to be because, we're on the road a lot doing stand up, that it seems to me that it's nationwide.
Oh, for sure.
It is, we're in Oregon.
Yeah.
Freaking,
And we get the
Oregon.
healthcare thing at the end of the
Right,
check,
right.
at the bottom of the check about
and they're
you
adding
know,
health care and the other
Right.
stuff. And in a
That's
place
just
where
how
the
it is
lunch should have
now.
been $20 out the
Yeah.
door, it's 38.
Well, it's really like a restaurant like Rosso Blu. So I think what I say, like places that used to be kind of neighborhood family restaurants are now kind of special occasion.
Mm.
And what used to be special occasion is now just for the ultra wealthy. Places like, unfortunately.
that's
But
not-
like Providence, for example.
Like I went recently,
Us too. We were there
and
in
it was
June.
packed. So
Packed.
packed, and it was awesome. It was amazing. I loved it.
It was my first time.
Yeah,
Absolutely life changing.
yeah, they're doing amazing stuff there.
Life
really.
changing.
But I
Yeah.
think the point is that is a different that is not middle class, that is upper class. They're not as affected by what is happening right now.
Right.
And the
Well,
middle
yeah.
class just kind of seems to
when you
be
got 50 million
the
in the
worst
bank.
class to be right
fucking
now.
I know
difference.
it's tough.
the
because
worst
I
the
used
middle
to.
class is
We used to go out. We used to spend so much money on food.
Me too. I love it.
But
And-
now we just can't afford it anymore.
We sat down Saturday night at your restaurant. I'm not kidding. The very first thing I said to Sarah, I said, this is my happy place.
Yeah.
Going to a nice restaurant
know, right?
with wine I get to bring, and we open the wine
Yeah.
and no one's in a hurry. Like, I am in my happy place right
yeah,
now.
yeah.
And my happy place is 40% more expensive no matter
Yeah,
where we
at
go
least.
every single time.
I'm the same way with sushi because I love sushi.
I do too.
But I can't
and
afford good
I-
sushi
Yeah.
anymore.
I mean, I
Ah.
still, Katsuya is still,
Right.
but
Yeah.
they haven't gone through the roof yet,
Mhm.
which is nice.
You haven't gone through the roof either.
No.
It did not
Yeah.
break the bank.
Yeah,
I
no,
wanna
we-
make
we
that-
try to keep it affordable.
It is. It really, really is.
Yeah.
And the thing is, I always think when you're in a restaurant, and I don't really care if you're going to Vito's Pizza for a slice
Right.
or if you're going to Rosso Blu. Okay. It's always relative to the food.
Right.
How good is this food? Am I getting my dollar's worth? And I'm not talking about portion size.
Mhm.
I'm talking about if I'm going to pay $36 or $40 for a main course,
Right.
I really want it to be great.
Yeah. Yeah.
I really want it to be great.
Mhm.
And when that happens, I'm like, this is money well spent.
Yeah.
I don't care that the bill was $200.
Right.
That's $200 well spent. Why am I working and
For sure.
breaking my chops
Right.
to put money in the bank if I'm not going to enjoy something as simple as a great meal?
Yeah, for sure.
You know,
Because you just can't do it as often as
you
you
just
would
can't
like.
do it as often as we used to.
Yeah.
That is true.
I'm going to translate all of that to calories. If I'm going to have gnocchi, okay, I want it to be the best damn gnocchi. And your gnocchi, can we just talk about it for a
Yes,
second?
You're rolling
oh
it
my
back
God.
there.
Of course.
What's
100%.
going on
Yeah.
back there with
Yeah.
that's like the best,
Well,
because
I know.
gnocchi can be, if it not
Yeah.
made correctly,
Yeah.
so many restaurants don't know how to properly
Well,
The,
make
the
it.
two
Gnocchi are
problems
hard,
for me with
yeah.
gnocchi, and I love gnocchi, okay? It can either be gummy
Right.
or it has a little bit of a tough center.
Right. Okay.
Because they either pre-made it
Yeah.
and didn't cook it through.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
Yours was perfect.
It's tough with potatoes because every potato is different.
Right.
So it's hard to have
Oh.
and my mom always used to say, "Oh, so you really have to." And in Italy, there's this saying they say, "Oh, you have to use old potatoes." I'm like, what's an old potato? I don't know.
Something
I
where
guess
they
they dry out.
growing out.
Yeah, maybe because as they get older, they lose
Drier.
water, and so like your enemy with potatoes in general is
Water.
Water.
Right.
So you don't want to add liquid when you're making mashed potatoes. It makes it gummy.
Right.
So it's just like knowing the ratio and coming up with a recipe or a way to get as much steam out of the potatoes after you cook them as you can. That's important.
I mean, there's a place in New York that was across the street. That was across the street from a sushi restaurant. I was waiting for my friends to go eat one night, and I'm standing outside of this restaurant that had been open for 100 years in New York, and this guy comes out and he goes, "Hey, come on in, take a table." I go, "I'm waiting for sushi. My friends will be here." He goes, "Wait right here." And he goes in and he comes back out with this little ramekin, and in it was some gnocchi with gorgonzola chunks. Not a cream sauce.
Right.
Just gnocchi with gorgonzola.
Yeah.
And he goes, "Here, treat for
Worth
you."
the calories.
And I tasted it. The name of this restaurant was called Rocco. Okay. And it was a family-owned restaurant for 90 years.
Wow.
And the grandmother at 85 was in the kitchen rolling the gnocchis.
That's the best.
Up until Rosso Blu, that was the best gnocchi I ever had. No kidding. No kidding.
Yeah.
It was, you couldn't tell that's how good your freaking gnocchis were.
Your gnocchi.
Oh,
People don't like gorgonzola though. I love gorgonzola. I love all cheeses.
I do too.
It's really
But some
strong
people are
for
like,
some
they
people.
don't like blue cheese.
It's just strong.
Yeah,
yes,
it's a lot.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
But when you
But yours
just
is
take
perfect.
when you take a bowl of hot gnocchi and you just take gorgonzola and it's just and then you just that's it. It's just the gorgonzola.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
Boy.
Oh my God. During COVID, I made it for
What just
myself
happened?
several times.
Yeah.
You brought up
Possessed.
this gnocchi is what happened. That's
So
what
you know what's
happened.
funny? You mentioned your spot Test Kitchen. Did you know that before Soto, the space where Soto was called Test Kitchen?
No.
And it was like where a bunch of chefs, that was the model there. Like they'd have
Really?
guest chefs do like 3 or 4 night stints.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, and like so I did a couple residencies with Zach, and then like all these chefs went through. Walter from Republique,
Really?
Ori from Bavel and Bessia.
Right.
I'm like Michael Voltaggio, Jordan Kahn
I
from
almost sold Michael
Vespertine.
Voltaggio a house.
Oh, really?
Yeah, talk about him and his brother.
Yeah.
Those guys are really solid.
Yeah,
cats.
yeah. I don't know his brother. I met him a couple
Right.
times. Michael, I don't know that well either, but yeah, he's a really good chef.
Really solid guys. And
Yeah,
I only
talented.
found out about him because he was on Top Chef.
Yeah.
That was literally how I found out about
Yeah.
Mike Voltaggio. And then I was helping a friend sell a house, and it was an open house one day in Laurel Canyon, and he walked in.
All right.
And I knew right away. I go, "You're Michael Voltaggio." And he goes, "Shh, don't tell anyone." And unfortunately, the comedian me goes, "Pretty sure nobody else knows who you are."
Oh.
And at the time, he had his restaurant on Melrose.
Ink, yeah, that was
Ink.
a good restaurant.
Yeah.
I like
and then
that.
they opened Ink Sack.
Oh,
the
I love
sandwich-
those
I
sandwiches.
love those
Yeah,
sandwiches.
I was bummed when they closed.
I was very bummed with it. I
Yeah.
took Sarah there when we first met.
Yeah, it was delicious.
Yes, the
Yeah.
Ink Sack was great.
Yeah.
And it was a block from where I live.
Ugh.
So Rosso Blu, is it Bolognese then? Is it, was it
Yeah, we
100%?
tried it.
Okay,
I mean,
okay.
so I mentioned that the Rosso Blu is the name of the soccer team, but like the Rosso blue for LA with the Dodgers and the ocean,
Love
and
it.
Rosso is Bologna because it's
Red sauce.
Oh.
No, they actually call it La Rossa, which is one of its nicknames because it's traditionally the most communist city in Italy. It's very,
Really?
very communist. But also I think because the roofs are red, but that's not the only city, but they call it La Rossa. La Dotta means it's the learned because it's the oldest university in not in the world. I think there's an older one in the Middle East somewhere, but in the Western world, it's the oldest university, University of Bologna.
Really?
Yeah, and then La
Wow.
Grassa, the fat one for the richness of the food. It has 3 different. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, so now you know.
I want to go to Italy.
Everything
should.
is
The first
really
time I
low
was in
fat.
Italy, I was with a friend of mine
Yeah.
who was born in Florence.
Oh, nice.
His family moved here when he was 11,
Yeah.
but he still speaks fluent Italian. And we saw friends of his in Florence. We
Yeah.
hung out with them.
Yeah, that's
and,
cool.
And he worked at Ponte.
And this is
Yeah.
my buddy who ran
Yeah.
Ponte's.
He ran
Okay.
Ponte's.
Yeah, he
or
was the general
Ponte's,
manager
yeah.
of the Improv. That's how we met.
Okay.
I'm going to give him a shout out. His name is John Rizza, if I may. But he's one of my closest friends.
We'll
I
have to
love
go-
him like
we'll
a
have to
brother.
take him to
Yeah.
Rosso Blu
When
next
he
time
comes
he's
out
there.
here,
that'd
we're
be
going to
awesome.
take him
Yeah,
down.
I'd love to
For
meet
We
him.
will absolutely take
Even
him
though
down.
Bologna and Florence kind of hate each other.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they're rivals.
I will, but I will.
Okay,
Now,
maybe not.
we were
Forget
going to
it,
do this.
John.
I know, that's
We
not
were
me.
going to do this thing, okay? Now, I was going to do a reverse on you.
Yeah.
Okay, we didn't ask you to bring anything. We didn't ask you. Oh, we'll taste your food on the air.
No, why? No, we're not.
I
set up
wanted.
for
I
that.
said to Sarah,
First
I'm
of
going to
all,
make
It's
something.
your day off.
Okay.
We're not going to have you
but I
come
said
in
to
with
Sarah,
gnocchi.
I will make something and we'll have Steve taste it.
Okay.
That's
but
complicated.
just
Doug
didn't
is
have
like,
the time.
What?
I'd rather just drink
Doug
wine.
is like, I don't have an oven.
So I love
I'm
Dan
sure
Tan-
you're a great cook, but
He's
Well,
wonderful.
Yeah.
I love Dan Tana's.
oh yeah.
Okay, I
Uh-huh.
love Dan Tana's. And Dan Tana's. First of all, your sauce
Yeah.
on.
Better.
Well,
Sorry,
But I was trying to figure out Dan Tana's sauce that they put on that chicken parm.
oh yeah, it's really good.
It's really good.
Yeah, I had the veal parm there once.
And I was experimenting with some stuff, and I think I figured it out.
Castello di Bulgari for.
All right.
I want you to smell this after I put it in the glass. This is the
Okay.
Castello. We're moving the wines around for those of you who don't know, and we're going to pour Steve now some of the Castello di Bulgari. It is a super Tuscan, and it's made by the cousins of Antinori. And this wine is about 150 a bottle,
Mm.
and it's scrumptious.
Um.
Scrumptious.
Yeah.
So finish your. I didn't mean to interrupt.
Mm.
What was I talking about?
Oh.
Dantana.
Oh, Dantana's.
Yeah, the
So I was
sauce.
playing with the sauce, and I
sauce.
wanted to, and so I came up with this sauce, and I make it all the time for her, and she's like, "Oh my god, the sauce!" And I think I figured out the secret ingredient, Dantana's sauce, and I asked somebody who works there, and he goes, "Don't talk about that.
Oh wow.
It's dry masala."
Okay.
He's
Yeah.
using dry masala
In the tomato sauce.
in the tomato
That's
sauce,
interesting.
you know.
Yeah.
But when I make the sauce, I'm-
everybody.
but-
Oh wow!
You
But
better watch out next time you
when
go
I
to
do it,
Dantana.
I pre-cook my onions and
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
garlic, and then I add it.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
want the aromatics. I'm doing
Yeah.
all that stuff, and I'm using about a cup
Yeah.
of the masala
He
wine
makes
in there.
great sauce.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
I've
was gonna
I've
make.
never heard of that, but that's cool.
Well, I was gonna make the sauce
Mm-hmm.
and then bring it to you, just so you can put a spoon in it and
Okay.
taste my sauce.
But it
the
would have
next
been
time.
cold. It's hard.
That doesn't
Yeah.
matter.
We don't have the setup. Maybe
I know.
but maybe in the future, Doug, maybe we could go to the restaurant and have an episode.
Or we'll come down. We'll come down for dinner one night.
Yeah.
We'll bring some wine.
not have an episode, do an
and
episode.
quiet. I'm inviting myself to Steve Samson's house.
Oh, sorry.
And I want to cook with you in the kitchen.
Okay.
But I will make that sauce for you.
Okay.
And I want to know what you think.
yeah.
He's like, what's the insurance policy?
You're gonna have to
We're
sign a,
very
you're gonna have to
covered,
sign a
Steve.
waiver.
We're very covered.
That is very funny.
We're the best insurance.
Yeah. But seriously, the first thing I did when the food came was I took my fork and I wanted to taste that red sauce
Mm.
that was on the
The
Eggplant.
the tortelloni.
tortellini, not
Yeah.
tortellini. You have tortelloni and tortellini.
Yeah.
And I
tortellini
did
is the
not know
junior.
the difference.
Tortellini is actually the kind of the king because it's so small
Right.
and it's
Okay.
a special, more of a special occasion pasta.
Oh,
It's
is
filled
that
with
right?
meat, so it's really super labor intensive.
Oh.
Tortelloni. It just means that does mean they're smaller.
Right.
I is diminutive and
The
O-N-I.
O is
Yeah.
the large.
Right. So, but the tortelloni is generally made with a Swiss chard ricotta
We
filling.
loved it.
Yeah, it's good.
We loved
Well,
it.
it's the
My
sauce
God.
is called burro e oro, which means butter and gold, because you got to add
Oh.
enough butter to the tomato sauce that it turns gold.
Now, is that the thing where, and again, I watch a lot of chefs. So is that the move where at the end you're adding the cold butter,
Yeah.
which gives it that shimmer?
Yeah. It doesn't have to be cold. I think it depends on what you're doing. Like I think if you want it super reduced when it's cold, it will have less of a tendency to break. You don't want the fat to separate from the sauce.
Right.
But this one, you do want to put it, because it can separate if you put it in too early. So you want to put it in right at the end and just put a good amount of butter.
That is a very common amateur home chef mistake.
A broken sauce?
Yes, a broken sauce. It is. I mean, when I cook for Sarah, and I do cook for Sarah, it is the thing that I panic over every time I'm cooking. Like, don't break. Like, you know what I mean? And I just never had any formal training.
Yeah, no.
That's the thing. I
make him very nervous.
It happens at restaurants too. You just have to know how to fix it, basically.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, but that's always my fear of, when you butter separates.
That's interesting.
Now there's
you have to know how to fix it.
Now there's all kinds of emulsifiers that you can put in that are have no flavor, but they'll keep a sauce emulsified so it's a lot harder to break the sauce.
Okay, and that's
not everyone. I mean, we generally don't use stuff like that, but it's all in that more realm of molecular gastronomy. All these emulsifiers to create thick sauces without adding a ton of fat.
Yeah, but there's no Italian nonna who has CO2 tank in her kitchen in the middle of Umbria up in the hills when the food is being brought to her on the back of a donkey.
Of course.
That instinctual.
They just know.
They just know.
Yeah. And
now I did notice that you were the badass on the sidelines. You weren't in the kitchen.
You were doing the expo.
Yeah, you were just kind of overseeing everything. Is that sort of your role now?
I love to cook, but I think in order to be a good chef, you have to be able to delegate. I still am not great at it, but you want to be able to see everything. So if I'm working the grill, I know that all the grill stuff is,
but you can't see everything else.
But then, then I'm stuck just focused on the grill. We have guys that are so good though. It's I don't worry about it. And the guy who normally does expo, he might have been off that night. Jonas, he's like a world famous, LA famous guy.
Expediter, really?
He's the best.
Oh, that's
he can expo and run.
That's amazing.
He'll go plate desserts. He's amazing.
A lot of people don't even know about the expediter. When I was in high school, I was an expediter at Froman's Deli in Encino.
Oh wow, yeah.
It's an important role.
It's a very important role.
They make the dish pretty, right?
Yeah,
and
they're
presentable.
but they're also responsible for making sure that what's on the ticket is what's on the plate.
And bringing it out on time.
And so that's why I always say when there's a mistake and it gets to the table, it is never the chef's fault. Never. Chef isn't bringing the food to the table.
But it can be the chef's fault.
Waiter's pulling plates down.
Maybe.
Waiter's got to check his plates.
Right.
Expediters Expediter checks the plates. The chef, he might make a mistake.
Yeah.
But it's not his job to make sure that the right dish is getting to the table.
And everyone makes mistakes. Even Jonas makes mistakes. And he's almost perfect.
We're humans.
Yeah.
But the expediter, it's kind of like the conductor of the orchestra.
Yes.
The expediter is controlling the flow. So when you have a bunch of different servers who all want to serve their table differently. Like a lot of servers want to control the fire times and all that. But when you have a full busy restaurant doing 300 covers on a Saturday night,
it's the same.
If I'm expert, I'm auto firing basically. I'll always check and make sure they're ready, but you got to group tickets so you can fire multiple tables at a time.
But it's the expediter who's going all right, fire the bass table 27 after they just got there, and then they it's a crazy gig.
I love it because it's kind of like a puzzle, like putting these tables together. And I've learned over the years the language that you have to use. You don't want to talk a lot, but you have to talk loudly, and you have to keep reminding people what they're working. Like you're working this. You never make jokes. You never use the word to, TOO. You say also or as well.
Real? Oh, because two is
could
two.
Be a number.
And then all of a sudden, They put up 2 dishes.
You just got to be super
Oh
clear.
my God.
And just super, it's like really, it's a thing.
Crazy.
And you
I
have to
never
know
knew.
Spanish sometimes too.
Well, I would imagine.
That's what I learned. When people
New
say,
York, Miami,
Yeah.
LA, you have to know Spanish.
when people
Mhm.
are like, "Oh, you speak pretty good Spanish," even when we were in Mexico, and I was like, "It's kitchen Spanish."
I know, right?
and that's where I learned it.
Yeah.
It's kitchen Spanish.
Yeah.
I took Spanish, but I didn't learn anything in
Right.
Spanish. I learned it in the kitchen.
Yeah. And well, I speak Italian, so they're very similar.
Very
Yeah.
similar.
So that
So-
helps.
Yes.
I would
But
imagine a lot.
also, yeah, just it's mostly been kids. And then if you're in New York, you're working with Ecuadorians, Dominicans, Puerto Ricans. In LA, you're working with Guatemalans, Mexicans, and
Mexicans and-
Salvadoreños.
right.
You know, in Miami, it's probably Cubans.
Mostly Cubans,
Yeah.
Puerto Ricans.
And they all
Yes.
have different
Central
dialects.
America,
Dialects and-
South
right,
America.
Right. So when
yeah.
I go to Mexico, I'm like, I'm good. Like,
Yeah.
I speak Mexican Spanish.
When I went to Italy, I'm not kidding. I was there first time I was there for 2 weeks. Day 3, I was speaking,
Yeah.
and John Rizza.
Yeah.
John was like, "How do you?" I mean, I was brought up speaking. I go, "Well, I know some Spanish," and it just sort of,
Right.
you know. And then I used a lot of Google Translate.
Yeah.
But it really came pretty easily.
And a little fight or flight.
And a little
too.
fight or flight.
A little
sure.
bit. You know, you're in that situation in a cab or
Yes.
and you have to just figure it out.
Mhm.
It's great for the mind.
It's,
Yeah, for
it's
sure.
really good
Get-
brain calisthenics.
Get on the tube, get on a train, get on the
Yeah.
TGV.
Yeah, it's the
It's
best.
so good for
I
your
love
mind.
traveling. We went to Paris and
Mm.
Amsterdam last summer
Love.
because the kids
Love them
are
both.
musicians, and we went to see Green Day in Amsterdam
Fun.
and
Yes.
Fun.
Weezer in Paris.
Oh shit.
It's all
Yeah.
good stuff.
Yeah,
Now,
The
when you,
TGV just takes you.
yeah. Well,
Yeah.
we just flew. We flew from
Okay.
we flew LA to Amsterdam, and then Amsterdam to Paris, and then flew out of Paris.
when you travel, do you try to get to specific restaurants? Like when you know of something, you're like,
Yeah.
I really want to see this guy's food.
Yeah, this trip wasn't like that.
Right.
Because A, we were with the kids. B, we were on a budget because
Right.
you know it was
The kids.
last
The
year. was
kids.
right. So we stayed in like youth hostels and ate at the
Awesome.
Bouillons in Paris, which are so cheap. I don't know how they're so
But
cheap.
by the way, some of them are incredible.
You're
Yeah,
Anthony
we didn't eat at any of
Bourdain it.
those ones.
Right.
The food was okay. We went to the entrecôte, you know, the l'oreille de entrecôte, the steak frite place.
Right.
That was fun. But no, this time we didn't really get to turn it into a culinary adventure. But generally, I prefer to go places with good food.
Right.
I don't like to travel to places that don't have good food.
There's a restaurant in Paris I am dying to go to. I've never been. Café d'Argent.
Okay.
I don't know if you know about this.
I think I've heard of it. Yeah.
It's the place with the numbered duck.
Oh,
They
yeah.
make this duck
Yeah,
dish. They've
yeah.
been making it for 90 years, and
Yeah.
every time they make it, there's a number which
Oh, that's
tells
cool.
you what number of this dish it is.
Yeah.
Like 11,920. Right. But they have a wine cellar that
Oh.
is considered one of the finest in the
I can
world.
imagine.
Over 50,000 bottles,
Wow.
and they give tours.
That's awesome.
Like, yeah, like I really want to do that.
Yeah. Well, take me with you.
Let's all do it.
Listen,
Okay.
we're going to be
Oh,
hanging
okay.
out more. This is
Okay.
it. The
Okay.
glass
Oh my
ceiling is
God.
broken,
And-
pal.
Yeah.
I'm just letting you know.
Okay,
That's it. We're
okay.
friends, and that's the way it goes.
Where is Dina from?
Dina Dina and I met in college. We dated in college 40-ish years ago.
Oh,
Wow.
Almost 40 years ago. It was probably
This
closer to like
explains-
38 years ago. And then we broke up. And then that time I was working in Italy with Piero, I met her in Florence and we almost got back together. And then 9 years later, so basically 20 years after we dated, we got back together.
Wow.
Okay.
Here in LA. She
Muy
moved to LA. But
romantic.
she's originally from the Bay Area.
Right.
Okay.
Her parents are from the Philippines. She grew up in the Bay Area.
She's so rad.
Yeah,
she's
cool.
rad. She's
She
striking.
is super
and
rad.
You're a power couple
Yeah.
together.
I mean, you guys are very good together, clearly on a business level, but on a cuteness level, like it really works. Like it
Thank
really,
you.
really
Thank
works. You know, I can't thank you enough for being
Of
here.
Yeah,
course, it was a
we're-
pleasure.
How do our listeners find you? Okay.
So Rosso Blu is on San Julian Street in the fashion district downtown. My chef Steve Samson.
You're at Steve Samson on Instagram.
Yes.
And on TikTok or Twitter
I think I'm on TikTok. That's why Dina needs to be here.
Because she knows this shit.
You're more of a Facebook. You're more of Facebook.
I'm on Facebook.
Okay.
Yes, your Facebook is pretty prominent.
Yeah.
So it's...
And my dad just got on Instagram and posting all these crazy old photos of us when we were little and
That's
in
fun.
Italy.
Good for
My
him.
grandparents,
I
my
want to
mom.
follow your dad.
Good for him. I want to follow your
funny.
dad.
Do you want to? Is it a public profile?
Yeah,
Should you say everybody
It's
follow
Robert Trebor,
Robert
which is his
Samson.
name last
Oh,
name.
okay.
Literally, I just turned my phone off.
Yeah, where did
That's fine.
Samson?
We'll get it.
But Samson is like where?
No,
what
my
is-
dad's a Jewish guy from Brooklyn.
Okay.
Yeah, my dad went to
Jewish.
high school with like Woody
Yeah.
Allen and all these.
Oh my God.
Married an Italian
So
woman.
he decided, like almost on a whim, that he wanted to go to study medicine in Italy. So he went to Bologna to study medicine and spent 6 years there in Bologna in the 60s when it was supposed to be really great.
Right.
And he fell in love with Italy and he fell in love with my mom and they got married. And
I always say when an American goes to Italy and meets a woman and they fall in love, he met his Apollonia.
Apollonia from The Godfather.
That's correct.
I know. I got the reference.
Only she wasn't blown up in
my mom was not blown up.
Right.
That was not a
My
good
dad was
ending
about as
for
far
Apollonia.
from a mafioso as you could
Well,
get.
he was a Jew.
Yeah,
You know,
there were a lot of
my
them.
dad
in
was
there.
the accountant.
I know. My
Where's
dad's
the
a Jew from
accountant for the
Brooklyn.
family?
My dad was in the garment center in New York City,
okay.
and I used to watch.
He was in the schmata business.
He was in the
right?
schmata business, and I was at his work one day, and this is a totally true story. One of the Gambino guys came up to the office,
Yeah.
and my dad just opened his drawer and he picked up a white
Ah.
envelope and he handed it to the guy.
Ah.
And the guy shook his hand, said, "I'll see you soon," and left. And I said to my dad, "What's that all about?" He goes, "That's about me getting the stuff on the truck."
Yeah. Or the stuff that falls off the truck.
If you wanted your stuff in the 70s,
Right.
in the garment center,
Yeah.
if you wanted your stuff getting on that truck,
Yeah.
you paid.
Yeah. So my dad's whole family, they were in the schmata. My
Right.
dad, his dad was an upholsterer. And my dad went to Philadelphia Textile University.
Really?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
To go like kind of follow in that, and he
Right.
didn't want to do it, so he ended up going to Italy to study medicine.
And he's a doctor, your
look at
brother's a
him.
doctor,
Yeah.
and you feed
Married
doctors.
to-
feed
yeah.
doctors.
Oh my goodness.
I cannot
love
thank
it.
you enough for being here.
Yeah, this
I
I
we
pleasure.
really.
cannot, seriously, I hate that we
How
only get an
fun.
hour.
I
That's
know. we
But I've
could've
known you
gone,
long enough to know
Come
that
back
this
with
is
Dina.
not the only
You know,
Yeah,
time.
next
drink
time
some
Dina will
more.
be
She
here.
said she likes
She's way more
Burgundy.
interesting.
We definitely
I
wanna have you back.
had a
Yeah.
Gruner, Veltliner, and a Burgundy, and they're
a
fridge
white burgundy for her.
Yes,
Yes,
but we'll do
we
it next
prepped.
time.
Okay.
Next time.
I mean, I have 1,000 bottles, so
Okay.
it's really
You know.
easy.
and I
You
have
store them
20
all at home.
because
no,
I
I've
drink.
got a wine storage
At Wallace.
facility. No, it's actually on like Venice and Overland. There's a
Okay.
wine storage facility.
Yeah.
And I got 2 massive
It works
cages
out.
over there.
Yeah,
Cool.
you have a nice situation.
You know,
over there,
we got a
so.
situation.
You
He's got a situation.
It's a good
So-
thing.
Everyone go to Rosso Blu.
Go
Yeah,
to
please.
Rosso Blu.
And if you're, from, because we actually have an international following.
Yes, we do.
So when you come to the U.S., go to Rosso Blu.
Yes.
When you're coming from New York,
Go to
Chicago,
Rosso Blue.
Yeah, anywhere in the Midwest.
Go to Rosso
go to
Blu.
Rosso Blu. We have a big following in the Midwest. Go to
Nice.
Rosso Blu when you come
You,
to
I
LA.
mean, seriously, it is just, it's just above and everything about it is above and beyond.
I have a big
Thank
following
you.
in Malta.
It
Go to Rosso
really
Blu.
is.
I don't know what's
Wow.
going
Yeah.
on. I don't
love
know
that.
Malta. It's
She gets
weird.
mobbed in Malta.
I get
Mobbed in
mobbed in
Malta.
Malta.
You should
I don't
go.
know. I'm a big deal in Croatia.
It's
Okay.
almost-
All right, you
both
killed
those
Croatia.
places they're both almost Italy.
My darling co-host, how do people find you?
Well, I'm at Sarah Halstead. And if you just put in my name, it will link to everything.
And all of my stuff is at Rich Chassler. And we
Mhm.
have to do a couple of thank yous as always. We have to thank Doug Bass
Thank you, Doug
and
Bass.
Bass Hole
Doug.
Studios. Doug loves it when we have guests who aren't sober because
Yeah.
Doug is over there running the show with a glass of wine. And there's nothing better.
Doug, did you get the Castello de Bulgari?
He will once we're off the
okay,
air.
excellent.
And
Thank you, Riedel Glassware.
And we have to thank Corey Fry.
Corey Fry, thank you.
And we thank Max Riedel and Riedel Glassware because Riedel makes the best glassware on the planet as far as we're
Absolutely.
concerned. And we want to thank all of you for listening to Drinking During Business Hours.
Yes, thank you for tuning in and subscribing and giving us 5 stars and giving us comments.
Yes.
And suggestions and what to drink. That's a lot of fun.
We appreciate all
Thank
of the
you
feedback.
for the what to drink.
Yes, so keep that coming.
We listen, obviously.
Yes, we do.
So including the non-alc beer suggestions, which we just did. So we're listening because you're listening. So thank you so much for that.
Thank you all for tuning in.
And we'll see you next time
on Drinking During Business Hours.